Breaking news, dog finds kid in a tree.
But on a more important note, air pollution.
Let's watch a video by Nation Ford High School environmental students.
Air pollution. Air pollution. What? Air pollution. Air pollution. What the Jiminy Flick is air pollution?
Well, the World Health Organization defines air pollution as a contamination of any indoor or outdoor environment by any physical, chemical, or biological agents that modify and mess with the natural characteristics of that atmosphere.
Alright, so why should I care about air pollution?
Well, air pollution can actually cause a lot of respiratory illnesses, such as, asthma and lung cancer.
Oh yeah, and doesn't it also irritate the eyes and the lining of your lungs?
Yeah, and when it irritates the linings in your lungs, it stops the diffusion of oxygen across the membranes, which lowers the amount of oxygen which is in the blood.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it really messes with you.
So aren't there like 6 criteria air pollutions that are like, they're horse clip, right?
Close. Nose clip, actually. Very close. There's nitrous oxides, there's ozone, tropospheric ozone. Stratospheric ozone is actually really good for us.
Oh, doesn't it block the UV rays?
Yeah, but when it's in the troposphere, it always messes with us and it keeps the heat in.
Oh.
Yeah. And then there's sulfur dioxide, there's carbon monoxide, there's lead, and there's particulate matter.
So does it just affect us people, or does it affect the environment too?
It affects everything. It affects the environment as well. It can cause acid rain, which when it rains down, it lowers the pH of the water, which can kill fish in acid shock and also makes the aluminum precipitate out of the water, which goes over their gills, creating a mucus, and they suffocate. It can also lower the pH of soil, which trees can't live in low pH soil, so no dioxin.
So air pollutants affect everything, really.
Yeah, it's not just us. We're messing with the entire world whenever we're polluting the air.
Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide.
What? Carbon
dioxide.
Carbon
dioxide.
What? Carbon dioxide was a prominent greenhouse gas, which means it absorbs infrared radiation reflected off the Earth's surface, heating up the Earth. But what else does it do?
Well, it actually lowers the pH of the ocean because it creates carbonic acid, which also dissolves the shells of marine animals.
So I know some of it comes from respiration, but that can't be all of it.
No, most of it comes from the combustion of fossil fuels, but some does come from natural sources like volcanoes.
So what are some ways we can fix this carbon dioxide problem?
Well, the most important thing we need to do is reduce our use of fossil fuels, which we can do by finding renewable sources of energy. But another great way to reduce the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is to protect our forests.
Oh, because trees use carbon dioxide in photosynthesis, right?
Yeah.
Sulfur
Dioxide.
Sulfur
Dioxide.
What? Sulfur
Dioxide.
Sulfur
I know
dioxide.
that burning coal produces a lot of carbon dioxide, but what else does it produce?
It also produces a lot of sulfur dioxide.
Well, what impact does that have on the environment?
Well, when the sulfur dioxide is released into the atmosphere, it'll react with water molecules that are already up there, creating a secondary pollutant, H2SO4, which is also called sulfuric acid. That'll fall in the form of acid rain, which lowers the pH of both the soil and the water. When the pH of the soil is lowered, it'll kill off the trees and the plants that depend on it, and when the water pH is lowered, it'll kill off the aquatic organisms.
Well, there has to be something we can do about that.
Well, there's actually a bunch of different classes of coal that can be burned. There's better ones and there's worse ones. Lignite is one of the ones that have a high sulfur content when it's burned. And then there's anthracite, which has a very, very low sulfur content, but it's also more expensive and harder to get to.
So, who burns lignite?
Well, China burns a lot of lignite coal. It's cheap, it's really easy to get to, but it has very high sulfur dioxide emission. Ozone. Ozone. What? Ozone. Ozone.
I always thought ozone was naturally occurring, but I also heard it was bad.
Well, that's because ozone in the stratosphere is good and it blocks out harmful UV rays, but in the troposphere, it absorbs infrared radiation being reflected off the Earth's surface.
It's formed from VOCs reacting with sunlight and molecules in the atmosphere, right?
And it has a lot of negative effects on health, such as causing respiratory illnesses, asthma, COPD, wheezing, premature death, and oxidizes the tissues in the lungs. So it's like getting a sunburn in your lungs.
So where does it come from?
Well, it comes from car emissions, industrial processes that release VOCs, and household products containing VOCs, like household cleaners and paints.
So what can we do to stop ozone
Well, you can carpool with your friends, you can take public transportation, maintain your catalytic converter on your car, and reduce the products you use with VOCs in them.
Well, I guess I better go fix my catalytic converter now.
P.
M.
P.
PM.
What? P.
M.
P.
PM.
No, I just heard that dirt's particulate matter. What is particulate matter?
Well, particulate matter is any small solid suspended in the air, such as dirt, dust, pollen, and mold.
Well, how does it get there?
Well, it gets there from wind erosion on exposed areas of land, which can cause by open construction sites, cars driving over dirt roads, clear cutting, and farmers practicing till farming.
Well, what does it do to me if I breathe it in?
Well, it's going to irritate your lungs, it can cause respiratory illnesses, it's going to irritate your eyes, and it's going to cause lowered visibility in the air.
How can we reduce how much is in the atmosphere?
Well, farmers can practice no-till farming, which is better for the soil anyway. Construction can practice smart growth instead of just constructing all over the place. And loggers can practice selective cutting.
So this is really bad for the atmosphere.
It's putting a lot of dirt into the atmosphere.
Wow, who knew all that about air pollution? Did you also know that there's been a 48% increase in carbon dioxide emissions since 1992?
I did not, but I did know tropospheric ozone has dropped 28% since 1980 in the United States.
Other statistics include 656,000 deaths in China annually are caused by air pollution. The average number of people killed by air-polluted related illnesses is 2 million per year. Most cities in India have above average or critical levels of PM10 or below.
Wow, we should really protect the air.
Yeah, it's what you breathe.
Wow!
Remember, folks, protect the air. It's what you breathe.